أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to our respected viewers, and welcome once again on Youth Matters with me, your host, Sakina Habib. I would like to extend my heartiest felicitations and congratulations to you all during this beautiful, they say it's called the Jashn Karamat, the Ashra Karamat, from the 1st of Zilqad up till the 11th of Zilqad, because we celebrate the birth anniversaries of these two holy personalities, Bibi Masuma Qum, Salamullahi alaiha, and her brother Imam Mola Raza alayhi salam. And on today's program, we will be honoring Imam Ali Rada alayhi salam as we reflect on the timeless lessons from his life that continue to inspire us today, and from unwavering commitment to truth to a legacy built on compassion. Imam Ali Rada alayhi salam set an example that guides us in all aspects of our lives, and this includes leadership qualities, service, and faith, and many more lessons that we can take from him that inshallah we'll be discussing during our conversation today. But we'll be enlightening you with some beautiful melodious recitations as well to keep the program very much entertaining on today's program. And then there will be an open general knowledge question and answer segment where we will be sort of sharing our opinions on a couple of questions that are very relevant on in today's time and era. So, without much further ado, I would like to welcome our very well renowned reciter, very famously and internationally well known. He's very well known in the UK and also in Pakistan and around the world, Sayyid Babar Jafri. I would like to welcome him on board. Hello, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you? Hope you're well, inshallah, brother.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. I'm very good, thank you. Thank you for having me on this Jashan program today. It's always nice to be invited onto your Youth Matters program, and I'm very glad to be here. I hope you're doing well.
Thank you. Likewise, Babar. It's really nice to see you after quite some time, and really honored to have you on today's program, and can't wait to hear some of your amazing recitations. So before moving on, I just want to start off by saying that this is the week where we are celebrating the Wiladat, the birth anniversary of our eighth holy Imam, Imam Ali Rada alayhi salam. And I find so much inspiration from this Imam, especially because when we go to his place in Mashhad, when we visit his Roza, there is a very unique and a special aura that you feel. There's a very charismatic feeling, and so many people say that a lot of miracles have taken place there, and a lot of duas are like Kabul all the time, have been accepted. And of course, it is also said that because he is one of the imams who is like very far away from the rest of the imams, because most of the imams are either buried in Madinatul Munawwara or in the holy city of Iraq, and so there is still a bit of connection. But this is that one imam who is living in a very foreign land, and that makes him even more special. So, without much further ado, I would like to allow you to present your recitations that you have prepared for us today. And inshallah, then let's see how our program flows. Inshallah. So, Bismillah,
For
Babar.
sure, for sure. If we start with one loud salawat in honor of Imam Raza alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad wa ajil fazil. So yes, as you introduced our Imam, no words can do justice when it comes to introducing our Imams, of course. But you definitely did an amazing job. I'll try to match that with the first salam that I've prepared today in honor
Inshallah.
of Mola alayhi salam. So for all the viewers watching at home right now, many heartfelt congratulations to you all on the Wiladat, on the Zuhur of our Imam. This kalam written by Janab Sayyid Zilli Raza Zaidi Sahab, a poet and a reciter from Karachi. So I'll just present a few stanzas from that kalam, inshallah. ہم کیا بتائیں کیا ہے ہم کیا بتائیں کیا ہے امام رضا کے پاس ہم کیا بتائیں کیا ہے امام رضا کے پاس. What can we say? What can we tell that Imam Raza علیہ السلام has? ہم کیا بتائیں کیا ہے امام رضا کے پاس ہم کیا بتائیں کیا ہے امام رضا کے پاس. ارے اللہ کی رضا ہے امام رضا کے پاس. اللہ کی رضا ہے امام رضا کے پاس. اور مولا رضا کے روزے میں معلوم یہ ہوا مولا مولا رضا کے روزے میں معلوم یہ ہوا. ارے جنت کی کل فضا ہے امام رضا کے پاس. جنت کی کل فضا ہے امام رضا کے پاس. And as you said, sister, that in Khurasan, in Mashhad, there's a very special it's a very special feeling when you are over there, and I just want to reflect that feeling in this next share. تو بتلا بتلا رہی ہے روزے میں جعلی شفا کیے بتلا بتلا رہی ہے روزے میں جعلی شفا کیے. ارے ہر درد کی دوا ہے امام رضا کے پاس. ہر درد کی دوا ہے امام رضا کے پاس. And this is my favorite share that Zilliwa has written. This is my favorite. Of course, all of the stanzas are one better than the next, but this is my favorite. تو یہ ساتھ سہن آپ کے ہیں ساتھ آسمان. یہ ساتھ سہن آپ کے ہیں ساتھ آسمان. یعنی فلک بچھا ہے امام رضا کے پاس. یعنی فلک بچھا ہے امام رضا کے پاس. اور جسے جنا کی آب و ہوا خلق کی گئی जैसे जैसे जिना की आबो हवा खल्क की गई। अरे वो आब और हवा है इमामे रजा के पास। वो आब और हवा है इमामे रजा के पास। हाँ, दरूद बर मोहम्मद वाले मोहम्मद। अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली
Allah
अला मुहम्मद।
Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum. MashaAllah, very beautiful recitation. And you definitely took us to the lands of Khorasan and Mashhad. And I was really like visualizing myself being there, as you even mentioned about the Jali of Shifa, which is really said that, you know, that gives a lot of, it has a lot of cure, a lot of remedy for so many diseases. So many people have said that, you know, they've got shifa from there. And this is not just the physical shifa that we are talking about, this is also the spiritual shifa that we're talking about. Our hearts feel that sukoon and that tranquility once, you know, we come back from that beautiful place. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us always to go and visit the holy shrines of
आमीन
Mashhad
आमीन।
and Qom, inshallah. I'm praying for all the viewers who are watching us that, inshallah, they also get to go and visit these holy shrines. And, I was reading something very beautiful the other day that there was a scholar who, after he passed away, came to his son's dream, and he was mentioning to him that Imam Ali Rada alayhi salam comes and visits a person in his grave the number of times that he has visited Imam Ali Rada alayhi salam in this world. Meaning that when we go and do our ziyarat, every time we go and meet Imam Ali Rada alayhi salam, no matter be it 6 or 7 or 8 times. So in the case of this alim, it was almost 39 times. So Imam Ali Rada alayhi salam had come to, he was actually going through a rough phase in his qabr, and suddenly he saw this Nurani shakhsiyat appearing in front of him. And Imam Ali Rada asked him that, are you okay? I can't remember the name of the alim right now. I was just reading 2 days back, a very famous alim. And he said that, yes, I was just getting bothered and tortured by these ugly angels, or, the Munkar and Nakir. They were trying to disturb me, but as soon as you came, they vanished and they disappeared. So who are you? And then he said that I am your Mola Rada, and I came to visit you because you had come to visit me, and you came to visit me 39 times in the world. So this is my first time that I've come to visit you. I'll be coming on and off to visit you 39 times, and whenever I come, your punishments and your aziyat and everything will get disappeared and will, get dissolved. Subhanallah. So this is the beauty and the miracle of our eighth holy imam, Imam Ali Rada alayhi salam.
Subhanallah.
Imam Ali Rada alayhi salam was given the title Al Rida, meaning the one with whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is pleased. And this title was not a symbol of worldly power, but of his divine approval and moral authority. So, despite being offered the position of the Caliph by Ma'mun al Rashid, Imam Ali Rada alayhi salam still remained steadfast in his commitment to spiritual integrity. And that is why his name was Ar Rida. Inshallah, moving on now to our next kalam, Sayyid Babar, we will give you the chance to again present a kalam for us, inshallah.
For sure. Um, so I'd like to switch it up a little bit now. I know it's Jashan Mola Raza. So the first kalam was in honor of Mola Raza alayhi salam. Now if we switch
Yeah.
from one Ali to another Ali, I would like
Oh,
to present
subhanallah.
one kalam in honor of Amir al-Mu'mineen, Imam Ali alayhi salam. So if we switch from
Definitely.
Shah to Shah Najaf, this
Yes.
kalam I recently recited on Tira Rajab, and I recorded and released it as well, as a mankabat for Tera Rajab. So it's titled Ali se milta hai. So that means we receive from Ali. Now, what we receive from Ali, how we receive from Ali, that's some of the things that we will look at in this kalam. So if you begin with one loud
Perfect.
salawat. Allahumma salli ala
Allah
Muhammadin wa ali
Muhammad
Muhammad.
wa ali Muhammad wa ajil faraj. Bismillah.
علی سے ملتا ہے مولا، علی سے ملتا ہے، علی سے ملتا ہے مولا، علی سے ملتا ہے، خدا جو دیتا ہے سارا علی سے ملتا ہے، علی سے ملتا ہے مولا، علی سے ملتا ہے، اور مثال کا بالی ہے کہا پیمبر نے، مثال کا والی ہے کہا پیغمبر نے، تو سمجھو خانہ کعبہ علی سے ملتا ہے، علی سے ملتا ہے مولا، علی سے ملتا ہے. The Zuhur of Mola Ali alayhi salam, as we all know, happened in the Khana Kaaba. So if we keep this in our mind as we listen to the next share. جہاں پہ آئے علی اس طرف نماز پڑھی، جہاں پہ آئے علی اس طرف نماز پڑھی، ارے ہمارے سجدوں کا رشتہ علی سے ملتا ہے، علی سے ملتا ہے مولا، علی سے ملتا ہے، اور وہی ہے ہاتھ وہی چہرہ اور وہی آنکھیں، وہی ہے ہاتھ وہی چہرہ اور وہی آنکھیں، وہی ہے ہاتھ وہی چہرہ اور وہی آنکھیں، ارے علی تو پورے کا پورا علی سے ملتا ہے، علی سے ملتا ہے مولا، علی سے ملتا ہے. And one stanza on Shab Miraj. So when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he comes back from Miraj, what does he say? پلٹ کے عرش سے بولے، پلٹ کے عرش سے بولے، نبی صحابہ سے، پلٹ کے عرش سے بولے نبی صحابہ سے، ارے علی ہی سب سے زیادہ علی سے ملتا ہے، علی سے ملتا ہے مولا، علی سے ملتا ہے، علی سے ملتا ہے مولا، علی سے ملتا ہے. And one stanza on the appearance of Hazrat Abbas alayhi salam. So on the Wiladat of Mola Abbas alayhi salam, how does Imam Ali react to the Wiladat of Mola Abbas? جب آئے حضرت عباس تو علی نے کہا، جب آئے حضرت عباس تو علی نے کہا، ارے علی کے غازی کا چہرہ علی سے ملتا ہے، علی سے ملتا ہے مولا، علی سے ملتا ہے. Many more shares in this kalam, but I'll share the final two as I'm aware. Time is of the essence, so I'll share the last two shares of this kalam. And my favorite kalam before the final share. My favorite share before the final share. Sorry. One share in the honor of Bibi Zainab Salamullah alayha. علی سے ملتا ہے اور سنا جو خطبہ زینب تو لوگ کہنے لگے، سنا جو خطبہ زینب تو لوگ کہنے لگے، ارے علی کی بیٹی کا لہجہ علی سے ملتا ہے، علی سے ملتا ہے مولا، علی سے ملتا ہے. The final share, the maqam, which is the one that has the poet's name in it. This kalam was written by Janab Zilli Saqlain Sahab. And this also sort of relates to the event you were telling us earlier about the scholar who saw Imam Raza in his grave. So if we keep that in mind, if we listen to this maqta, وہ چاہے اپنا ہو یا غیر ہو کوئی ثقل ہے، وہ چاہے اپنا ہو یا غیر ہو کوئی ثقل ہے، ارے ہر ایک قبر میں مولا علی سے ملتا ہے، علی سے ملتا ہے مولا، علی سے ملتا ہے. اللہم صلی علی محمد و آل محمد.
Beautiful, mashallah, subhanallah, bahut ala, really. Really enjoyed the kalam, and special thanks to you, of course, and to the kalam writer, Zille Sahab. He has written it very beautifully, incredibly. So, mashallah, subhanallah. Imam Ali Rada alayhi salam believed that ignorance is the greatest obstacle to spiritual progress. And he taught that knowledge and wisdom are essential to true worship, and that faith without understanding is incomplete. Everyone's friend is their intellect. This is something that he mentioned. His teachings encourage us to seek knowledge and wisdom in all aspects of life, for it is only through understanding that we can grow in faith. And there is another beautiful quality that I want to mention about Imam Ali Rada alayhi salam, that he didn't just talk about compassion, he embodied it in every action. He shared meals with the poor, ate with them, and spoke kindly to strangers. He comforted the forgotten and the needy. And he taught us that faith must be expressed through service and compassion. Faith without action is meaningless. And this reminds me again of another beautiful incident, which is like an example for us. It's a story that we can really take lessons from. Ahmad Naraki wrote it down again, and it is also translated in Urdu, by the way. So this book is simply about akhlaq. Now, what happened was that there was actually a conference that was held, and all the ulamas attended the meeting and the conference and really praised and admired the book. But there was one Alameddin who did not attend the conference and did not comment or say anything about the book. And he's a very famous alim again. His name is the one Baharul Ulum, the one they say whom Imam Zamana Jallahu Ta'ala Faraja Sharif himself said that he transferred his knowledge to him by basically embracing him and hugging him. That was the mu'jiza of this Alameddin. So when everybody was surprised that how come this specific Maulana who is so famous, how come he didn't, appreciate you, oh Ahmad Naraki? But Ahmad Naraki said that it's okay, I will keep waiting till he actually comes to know about this book, and he will himself come to me and he will appreciate and everything. And days passed by, weeks passed by, months passed by, and in fact there were a couple of times when they even met each other, like एक दूसरे के साथ आमना सामना भी हुआ, but they never really conversed with each other until one day Ahmad Naraki went to him and asked him that is something upset with me, do you have me in any way? And he actually uh, quickly took off his heels and ran him, and he said, no, nothing wrong. But did you know that why did I ignore you all this time? Did you know that every time when you passed by me or whenever I passed by you, I never greeted you or spoke about your book or anything? He said, because I was actually testing your real akhlaq. So it doesn't matter that whatever book you have written, my point was to actually test your quality and your ability, that are you really following and embodying that, those actual characteristics that you have penned down in your book. And that was a true example that was like, it was like a misali example for everybody, that oh okay, that's why he was just testing him. And he said that you really are a person who should be appreciated for writing this book. So this was a small example that I wanted to share with everybody. And moving on to our today's conversation, Babar, do you still have something to recite for us, or shall we move on to our open question segment?
Yeah, sure. I think I would like to recite just a couple of stanzas of a munajat for Mola Raza alayhi salam. Just to
Perfect.
close on Mola Raza.
Yes, absolutely. So let us, inshallah, hear your kalam, and then we will move on to our next segment, inshallah. Bismillah.
Sure. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad wajil farjahum. So it's a very well-known munajat. I'm sure you will have heard it. I'm sure the viewers at home will have heard it. So I just wanted to share a couple of stanzas as a dua to close off the sort of reciting section. हर नफस हर घड़ी मेरे दिल से यही आ रही है सदा या इमाम रजा या इमाम रजा या इमाम रजा तेरी अजमत पे भला क्यों न दलालत बनता तेरी अजमत पे भला क्यों न दलालत बनता शेर कालीन का किस तरह न जिंदा होता अरे है हकीकत यही तेरी मर्जी में ही है खुदा की रजा या इमाम रजा या इमाम रजा या इमाम रजा और गैर मुमकिन को यूं होते हुए देखा मुमकिन गैर मुमकिन को यूं होते हुए देखा मुमकिन जागती आंखों से जन्नत में गुजारे कई दिन अरे उसको क्या हो यकीन उसको क्या हो यकीन जिसने देखा नहीं कभी रोजा तेरा या इमाम रजा, या इमाम रजा, या इमाम रजा। और पूछने हाल नकीरन जब आए मेरा, मैंने दोहराया जवाबन जो कसीदा तेरा। अरे वजद में आके फिर वो भी कहने लगे, मैं भी कहने लगा, या इमाम रजा, या इमाम रजा, या इमाम रजा। Salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blesses us all with the opportunity to do ziyarat of Imam Raza alayhi salam in the near
Ameen.
future.
Ameen, inshallah, inshallah. Very beautiful. And of course, this is a very well known munajat, very close to everybody's, each and everybody's heart, very close to my heart. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept it. Thank you so much, Babar, for your wonderful recitations today. And now it's time to move on to our next segment, which is once again, this is like a general knowledge question and answer, something that we're witnessing, something that we're going through. This is the 21st century. There's a lot of challenges that we're going through in terms of social media, in terms of the wars, the soft wars, as well as the hardcore wars that are going on. So these are just a few things that we are gonna share on today's program, based on each other's opinion. So are you ready, Babar?
I don't know if I'm ready, but I'll try my best.
Okay, fine. So let's just get the echo out and we can move on with our question and answers. Question one is, how do you see applications such as ChatGPT, DeepSeek, Grok taking over researching, facts and information today, compared to the times when people, used to like actually research based on manual books and go through certain websites and with the citations and everything. So, what are your thoughts on this?
Artificial intelligence is the hype right now, really. I think it's definitely it's something that we will have to live with. I think it's definitely something that will become more predominant, more involved in our lives if it isn't already. For example, if I look at my life, I use ChatGPT almost on a daily basis now. It's almost replaced Google for searching for me at times. So it's definitely quite influential. If I look at it in work, at work, um, I won't go into a great amount of detail, but at work we have our own sort of artificial intelligence, which sort of helps us with our work process, which is specific to our work. So for instance, at my work, we look at controls and we look at the risks that might impact those controls. And artificial intelligence, it can help us sort of skip the process of having to think ourselves almost about how we could address those risks at work. And it sort of it might even in some instances it gives us procedures that we wouldn't have thought about ourselves. So it's
Right.
definitely useful. And then if you look at it from an educational standpoint, I sort of completed my degrees in 2021. So before
Okay.
ChatGPT was really a thing.
Yeah.
So
So
I didn't really have the
do you
chance
think
to
you're
research.
lucky? Do you think that you're
I think
lucky? Like, was it good?
I'd say so. Yeah, I probably am lucky that I wasn't influenced because maybe
Yeah.
ChatGPT would have been quite a dominant part of my research. So I didn't have that. Maybe a bit
Yeah.
unlucky in the sense that I had to do a lot of the research manually myself. Um,
Yeah.
but that's also an enjoyable process and it's also a learning process. So I think it's definitely a positive overall. If
Yeah.
we
I
don't
think,
you know, get overindulge ourselves into artificial intelligence and we sort of keep a hold of the old sort of methods of research, but also uh, ChatGPT, artificial intelligence. It's the future. It should definitely be involved, I think.
absolutely. So yeah, I do agree that there are pros and cons to it. What I really like right now is that how much it saves time. because right now the way our lifestyle is, like, we're always in a rush, always in a rush. It's like a rat race game, and sometimes you really don't have the time to basically sit and read a couple of books and then compile information from here and then put it all down, compile it. And so earlier I remembered it never felt like a burden, actually. I mean, even during my university days, it didn't feel like a burden, because obviously that knowledge was not there, that something like AI exists, something like ChatGPT exists. So we were ready to do the hard work and everything. And I
Yeah.
think that was very good. Of course, we were taught how to do proper citations, from different websites, from different books, different authors, everything. Now I feel like we're sort of losing that, because people don't know how to basically do citations, and people really fall for the words of ChatGPT or what do you say, Grok, DeepSeek. Because what happens in Grok is that it gives you an answer which basically the audience, the public approves in a majority, in the sense that it could be fake news, but because everybody is trending it, because the news is trending and everybody is basically supporting that information, so it's going to pop up at the top list for you, and it will give you that as your answer you know so
Yeah.
sometimes we need to be very careful, like, what resource are we following, what source basically are we following, what news source are we following, and from where are we getting a certain information. So
I'd
the other
yeah.
day, for example, yeah, go
I'd say
ahead.
as Shia Muslims, we know for sure that the majority isn't always uh, the correct path to follow, as you're saying.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other day there was actually someone who was saying that sometimes if you just even type like, okay, I'm looking for a couple of hadiths written or narrated by Imam Ali alayhi salam, it will give you, but it doesn't necessarily mean that Imam Ali actually narrated those ahadith. They could be
Yeah.
fabricated. So that is the main danger line over here, that our youths, like us, me, you, our generation, the coming generation, the alpha gen, they can get very easily swayed because of not researching into depth. Because obviously if I'll get the answers, why would I research again? Why would I like check refact? I will not go and recheck my information. I know I've got the answer. Khalas, I'm just gonna move on, right? So, but here's
Exactly.
the challenge for us, that we need to be careful, especially when it comes to our dini matters, like Islamic matters, because right now that's the whole agenda that the media is playing with our minds, is that it wants us to get distracted from the right information, from the right path of truth, because now they know that Shias, they have all the knowledge, they have all the right resources, so they're going to try their best to distract us and to mislead us. So yeah, we need to be a little bit more careful in that. Okay, next question is, are we still seeing a dramatic transition in the switching roles of men and women today?
Oh, that's an interesting question. I guess it does depend on which aspect of life we're looking at. If we look at it from a work sort of perspective, I've definitely noticed in the workplace, perhaps it's not as drastic as how it was 50 or 100 years ago, but there's still that sort of change that you see, and women are sort of coming into more predominant roles within the workplace, that is for sure. Um, but perhaps if you look at the upper echelons of the workplace, the highest levels, perhaps there's still more room for improvement, more room for that transition to sort of take place. But there's definitely been a transition for sure.
Yeah. So do you think that like women are aiming more to basically get into like career positions, like career ranks, rather than being a stay-at-home mom?
I think it does depend person to person. Maybe it's something that also is influenced by which part of the world you're in, which
Yeah.
sort of educational systems you grow up in. That sort of influences your viewpoint. And I think whichever viewpoint you choose, I think all viewpoints have their own merits, and as long as you're happy choosing the path that you choose, uh, then that's good at the end of the
Yeah,
day.
I think you mentioned a very good point here, that how our environment, the environment that you live in, the place that you live in, really sort of decides your future. I mean, sort of shapes your mindset and your ideology, and what you want to pursue. So, for example, if you see the ladies of Iran, they're very like homey type, and they are very family oriented from the very beginning. And um, uh, if you compare these women like to the women who are in the West, for example, or perhaps in the Gulf countries, then there is, of course, a difference. So we don't see the same, what do you say, like that will or that intent, to actually like nurture, for example, a family at home, or to be like the home take carer, the home carer, all of that. That's, in those parts of the countries, it's seen a little like in an underestimated situation. Like these roles are seen like, oh, what, like, what's this, like housewife life, what, we can, with there's so many opportunities out there for women, so why not be out there? So I guess it's the places, they really shift and shape your mindset, as you said. You're very right. Yeah.
For
Okay.
sure, I think everyone has a different perspective, and I don't think it's a one
Yeah.
size fits all. So I think you should ultimately aim for whatever makes you happy, and brings you
Absolutely.
closer to Allah.
Absolutely. Okay, what about how important are grades, numbers, when it comes to our academic education? Do you think it really plays a great role in our lives as a student? What would you say?
Well, I work full time now, but I am still studying as well. Um, I've got my final three exams coming up in July, so hopefully, fingers
Wow.
crossed, those are the last three exams I do in my life, and then never again. Because I'm 25 years old at this point, and I'm sort of done with exams. But as far as it comes to education and grades,
Yeah,
it definitely helps. I mean, having a strong educational background, it will help you in your future. It will help you sort of take steps towards building the career that you want or that you're interested in. It will give you a strong, foundation. But it's not the be all and end all. I know people who maybe don't have the best grades, but who are doing well, financially. They're doing well with their family. They're doing well in religion. So education is not the end, and it's not the, if you don't do well in education, that's it. You can't do anything in life. It's not that sort of situation. But what it
yeah,
does do is it definitely gives you a strong foundation. And as I was researching, Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salam says that knowledge without action is like a tree without fruits. So yes, you
yeah,
could have the greatest education, but if you don't do anything with the education, if you don't put into action, then perhaps you are not, perhaps it doesn't pave a way for you in the future the way it would have if you did take action. So it's definitely a solid good point, but it's not the be all end all.
yeah, absolutely. Very well said, very well highlighted, very well summarized, as you said. I think, again, like it's about our own perspective, one's own individual view on how they take education. There is no point of seeking so many degrees if you're not putting them into action, if you're not like helping your community, you're not helping, those who are in need, you're not basically like helping raise your children in the right direction. So all these things make a lot of difference. But yes, the foundation is very important. Like one should not be completely illiterate, and like just like in today's world, I don't feel like someone who's, there are people who say like we've just done metric, or like we've just finished class 8, 9, 10. So like it's very difficult to move in life with just that much of education, because you've got a lot of uh, rivalries, you've got a lot of competition in the market out there. So you need to at least upgrade yourself with, the maximum or the minimum, I don't know, education that you can, as much as possible, and then take it forward and grow it into something that can really like be a purpose of your life and help someone out there. So yeah. Okay, last one is that, Why is it that Islamic countries such as Pakistan, Iran, Palestine, Syria, and others are always seen as less powerful and oppressed nations when we talk about, for example, the mainstream media compared to the other superpower nations? But actually, if you look deeply and closely, again, we see that no, these countries actually have a lot of strength and wisdom and power within them, but it's just that it's never exposed. So why do you think is that?
That's an interesting question. It's also a difficult question. I think there could be many factors. At the end of the day, if we're looking at it from a mainstream media sort of perspective, what we see on Sky News or BBC News and news channels around the world, it might not necessarily be the truth, like you said, because different news channels will have their own agendas to push. But um, there may be some truth to it as well, in the sense that these countries, for example, if I speak about Pakistan, it may be that they have a very strong educational system, but then there's no opportunities for the people who go through these educational systems to sort of progress further, and achieve those achievements that really allow the country to progress in mass. And so when you look at that, you've got to maybe question the leadership of the country. Look right at the top,
Yeah,
and sort of the decisions that are being made that are sort of stopping the country from progressing. So
right.
I think maybe the leadership is perhaps the main culprit, but there could be other factors as well.
Corruption. Yeah, the
Correct? Yeah.
corruption basically. Yeah. You're right. And because of this, yes, you're right. We are, such countries are basically underexposed when it comes to the mainstream media. And that is why, like, for example, right now, what's going on between Pakistan and India, right? The war that's going on. So, like, people are amazed about, the air force that Pakistan has basically. And people are like surprised and they're like, wow, we never expected that Pakistan is like so good. And you see, this is like, I don't know, again, is this like a hype in the media, or is this really like, is it true, or what's the agenda behind it? But if Pakistan is has that intent and will to basically fight against India with so much resilience and strength, then it should also now, look into those countries, the much needed countries like Palestine, Syria, Lebanon, that are struggling. Then it should, help in those areas as well, right? To fight against the
Sure.
main enemies, the superpowers today.
For sure, I guess then another factor, alongside a lack of honest leadership, could be that there's a lack of unity amongst these countries as well. If you look at, for example, NATO, if you look at um, USA, if you look at the UK, how closely knit they are, how they like to keep their relations nice and tight. Perhaps that's lacking in other Islamic countries, and perhaps that's something that can be improved upon.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so we are almost done with today's questions, and I think we will end today's program. Oh, just one last bit, if you can address this one, just in your own words, and like, what important qualities should one have in these challenging times to become a good human being today? If you can just like say two, three things, like that's it.
Sure. I think perhaps the two main qualities that I would look at are patience and justice. We live in a very diverse community, a very diverse world, where it's a multicultural society that we live in now. People aren't always necessarily going to act or behave or speak in the way that we expect them to, or that we're used to. When it comes to communicating with people who we know of. So I guess having patience, sabr, is definitely a good quality. And then
Right.
having just to be able to deal with people, make the right decisions, because making the right decision is not always the same as making the easiest decision. So I think those are the two main qualities I'd highlight.
Perfect. Okay, thank you so much for joining us today. And we've come towards the end of our program. I would like to thank you for taking out your precious time today, for sharing your wonderful recitations, for sharing your wonderful insights with us. Super thanks to you. And inshallah, I hope that everybody will really enjoy today's episode.
Yeah, I mean, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. May Allah bless you with more opportunities to make more of these programs in the future, inshallah. Thank you.
Inshallah. Thank you so much to all our viewers for tuning on today's program, and I hope that you enjoyed today's episode. Please make sure to give us a thumbs up and do comment and keep sharing today's program as much as possible. This is your host Sakina Habib signing off. Jazakumullahu khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.